once again, thank you for joining us for this webinar. This is the Nutrient Deficiency Gap, and we're excited to bring all this knowledge to you about what your body needs in terms of nutrients and how you can support your body. All right, to start, we are going to just share this disclaimer. So this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not meant to serve as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You'll have to get into a more formal collaboration with us for any of this advice to be medically given advice. But just know that we are sharing this information based on current research, clinical experience, and functional medicine principles, but it should not replace your personal healthcare provider. So this is, again, like I mentioned, not a provider-patient relationship. You should always consult with your physician or your licensed healthcare professional before making any changes. But the information that we provide here will be good information that you can take to your healthcare provider and begin asking the questions that really matter. So today we have a packed agenda for you guys. I know there's 3 things on the board, but I promise you they're very, very good things. So the first thing that we're going to cover in tonight's webinar are the 3 hidden gaps keeping you from feeling your best, excuse me. So we really want to understand like what that is, meaning the nutrients you're putting in your body or not putting in your body, and how that actually relates to how you feel on a day-to-day basis. The second thing we're going to cover is the nutrient heist. It's this one thing that is quietly robbing your energy. And I'll save that one thing for when we get into those slides, but we're pretty sure this impacts the larger group here. And then the last thing is how you can start reclaiming your energy. So we're going to share the #1 way that you can do or start reclaiming your energy. So super packed, lots of great information, and I know you all are going to enjoy it. So let's kick things off. All right. So the big question here, our webinar is called the Nutrient Deficiency Gap, and we couldn't start without at least sharing with you all what are nutrients. So nutrients are the raw materials that your body runs on. So every single heartbeat that you have, every single thought that you have, your hormones, how your body heals, all that depends on the nutrients that you put in your body. So when I think of nutrients, I like to think of them in 3 roles. You have the role that your nutrients fuel your body. So they give your body energy. They help you feel alive and move with strength and your ability to think clearly. Nutrients are also your builders. They handle the structure and repair of your body. So you can think about this as like your tissues, your muscles, even your hormones. All of that is just goes into how your body is building and rebuilding itself. And then finally, we have nutrients are part of your protective defense. So they defend and help keep your body in balance. So nutrients are going to be what keeps your cells from damaging. They're going to support your immune system, and they're going to help you not be or keep you from being so inflamed. So keeping your inflammation in check. So all in all, nutrients are the communication layer in your body. This is how your body is speaking to one another, or your cells are speaking and actually letting you know what you need or what you might have too little of or what you might need more of. So this comes out in you feeling bloated sometimes. This is you feeling tired. This is you being overly stressed or you can't sleep at night. All of these things are your body saying, hey there, I'm missing something. Like, I need you to help me here. And so we really need to pay attention to these signs because those are indications that your body may be missing something. So for nutrients, when we think about nutrients, we're thinking about micronutrients and macronutrients. We did a webinar in the past that focused more on macronutrients, but this webinar, we're going to focus on micronutrients. Okay. And if anyone wants the macronutrient slides, just let us know in the chat. We'll forward over the YouTube webinar that we have, and then you can learn more about macronutrients. So I wanted to pivot over into these statistics that I came across, which to me was very shocking, but what I think will help resonate with us all here and help us to see that majority of Americans are nutrient deficient. So what we see here on the slide, right, I'll go through a few of them. 94%, 94% of Americans are not getting vitamin D. Vitamin D comes with spending time in the sun. And we all know that, like with our lifestyles, mostly we're running from building back into the car, back into our homes, and we're pretty much not spending enough time in the sun. So 94% of Americans are not getting enough vitamin D. And when we think about 94%, this is basically like everyone on the call, right, may be vitamin D deficient. Another one is choline. Choline is useful for regulating your metabolism and it helps like fuel your brain, your liver health. It's also good for staying focused. Well, the stats here are saying that over 90% of people are not getting enough choline. So again, that's like majority of the people here on this call, right? If we're saying 90% of the 20 folks here on the call, that's like 18 of us missing choline. And then vitamin E, I know we talk about vitamin E. We typically see vitamin E on our lotion bottles, right? Like lotion is infused with vitamin E. So it's really good for your skin health and healing. But almost 9 out of 10 people are low in vitamin E. So I think it's important here to recognize that if we consider ourselves people who are living in America or Americans, then we can see that majority of Americans have vitamin deficiencies. So I'll ask this question in the chat, like just say me, right? If you think that you fall into any of these categories, do you have any vitamin deficiencies? Just go ahead and let me know in the chat, like, yep, me. Charlene said vitamin D deficiency. I know that's for me too. I'm getting absolutely me. Yeah. There are lots of folks walking around with vitamin deficiencies, but maybe we don't know how to truly like verify which one that is. Okay, I'm seeing yes, vitamin B. We are sharing the slides, Carol. You might have to try to join back in to see if that works for you. Okay. So yeah, safe to say we all have some vitamin deficiencies here. So you're in the right place. Let's move forward to the next slide. So just to ground us a little bit more, I'm saying that we're talking about micronutrients. So what are the micronutrients? We talked a little bit about that, but I wanted to give you some real examples about different nutrients in your body and how your body can be speaking to you about certain nutrient deficiencies you might have. So on this slide here, we have calcium and magnesium. So these are minerals in your body. They work together. You need calcium in your body, right? We know that's really for like the musculoskeletal system. We've all grown up on drinking milk because it gives you strong bones, right? So we know calcium is good for healthy teeth, strong bones. What we may not know as well is that calcium also helps to contract and relax the muscles. So my example, and the reason like this example is here on the slide too, these real life examples, is because I want us to be able to correlate what's happening in our bodies to some of these nutrients, right? So this one specifically, this is me. I don't know if anyone's ever woken up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse and you just have like this cramp in your leg, right? And it's, I know I've woken up in the middle of the night, I'm screaming, I'm crying for help. And that's because I may have a calcium deficiency, right? My body is showing me that I am missing something, and that is the output of it, right? Charlie horses are not fun. So if you do ever experience a Charlie horse, like you know what I mean. The other one here is magnesium. So magnesium is useful for keeping your heart rhythm, right? Steady. It's going to support healthy blood pressure. It's also going to help your body handle stress. And one of the ways that stress management or mismanagement can look like is that you are laying in bed at night and you're just unable to fall asleep because you have like these constant thoughts in your mind that just won't end. So that could be pointing to a magnesium deficiency. So I just wanted to bring some like real life examples to kind of help you all see like, huh, I've experienced this. Maybe this might be linked to a nutrient deficiency. So here's another two that I'll share as well. On the next slide, we have vitamin B12. So B12 is what I like to call the motivation vitamin. So, for example, sometimes I might experience low motivation. I wake up in the morning, I have my to-do list, and I know there's all these things that I want to do, but my energy is just so low. It's like I want to do it, but like for the life of me, there's no strength in my body to do those things. That might be a sign of a vitamin B12 deficiency, right? And then there's zinc. Zinc is your repair mineral. It's critical for like your immune system, again, skin health, and even like your ability to taste and smell food. So sometimes you might see someone who's like always getting sick, like they can't catch a break from the flu, they can't catch a break, like nose is always running, right? This could be a sign of a zinc deficiency, and it could be disrupting how your body is regulating your immunity. So these are just a couple examples of nutrients. We do also have a free nutrient guide where we list out all of the nutrients and what they do for your body. And then we also have a bonus where we're incorporating some foods that can help replenish that nutrient in your body. So if you want that free guide, let us know in the chat as well. But my main takeaway here is that our bodies are literally always speaking to us. There's always some indication about what your body needs. If you think about it from way, way back in the day, like people didn't have all these different types of technologies. They were just in tune with their bodies, listening to their bodies, and knowing what to eat, right? So, food is medicine. So, knowing what to eat. So, the question that I'm posing to you all, and something that I want you to keep in mind here is, are you listening, truly listening to your body so that you can recognize what it needs and provide it to it? All right. With that, that lays the foundation for what we're going to talk about. I'm going to hand it over to Samuel Lewising. He's a dual board certified nurse practitioner. He has over 10 years of medical experience, and he's functionally trained. And his role is to help people like you, like me, reclaim optimal health. And what this means is that he's going to be focused on teaching people how to pay attention to the signs and the symptoms that you're experiencing in your body, and he'll help you develop a care plan so that you can achieve this optimal health. But with that said, I'm going to let him dive in further onto the three nutrient gaps. Take it away, Sam. Hold on. I think he might be speaking on mute.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect. All right, hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for joining. And I know the big question is about the nutrient deficiency and also how we can fight to get that nutrient back into your body. So the first gap we're going to talk about today is the gap between needs and intake. So this word may sound very simple, but it's really key. So when you hear intake, so you hear what you put inside your body. And versus the needs, what it means is exactly what your body requires. So number one, not everything that you put in your body is a requirement or your body benefit from it. That's number one. And number two, a lot of people they are on different type of diet, keto diet, and I'm not saying they're all wrong, but what I'm saying is that sometimes you may complete your calorie count if you're on a daily calorie count and then you reach that calorie count it doesn't mean that your body receives the nutrient that it needs. Your body may still be deficient because, yes, you reach your calorie count, but at the same time, did you fulfill your body needs? So that's what I mean by the when I say needs versus intake, because you might be eating well, rather, or you're eating 3 times a day, but if you're not giving your body what your body is asking you, then that becomes a problem. So that's where the nutrient deficiency starts, because like it says on the bottom, you cannot meet a need you don't know exists. So if you don't know, for example, that you need some zinc in your body, and all you see is that you're getting sick or your skin breaking down, and you're just wondering what's going on. But it's like basically your body's telling you, hey, I need some zinc. But yet you're eating healthy. You might eat some good salad, and the salad might have some good fiber in it, some good potassium and calcium. But if it doesn't have the what your body needs, which is the zinc, for example, then you'll still be deficient, unfortunately. So let's go to the second one. So the second one is the gap between eating and nourishment. Eating is very simple. It's filling you up. It's basically at your stomach level. You probably will have a nice plate of food. It can be salad, healthy food, or it can be unhealthy food. But when you eat the food, so what happened is that yes, you intake it and it stays right there on in your stomach. And then a lot of people think that's where it ends. However, no. I want to tell you tonight that once your body get to your or your the food get to your small intestine, that is when your body start absorbing the food. So basically, if the food stays in your stomach but it's not absorbing into your small intestine, then you're not receiving the nourishment that your body is asking you. I'm talking about your cells, because you might be eating every day, eating even healthy food, but if your cells is not receiving the nutrient that is from the food that you're eating, if you're eating food with good nutrient, then your cells will still be starving and you will still be malnourished. And I know usually people tend to tie malnourished with when you're not eating at all. However, you might still be eating, filling your stomach, but still you're malnourished because your cells need some good vitamins, some good minerals. Are you giving the cells those minerals? However, in order to do that, your stomach needs to start breaking down the food so it can goes into your small intestine. That is when you start nourishing your body. So in other words, nourishment, it doesn't happen in your stomach. It happens when your cellular level receive the nutrient that you put inside your body. Because if your gut does not absorb the food that you're taking in, you're basically not satisfying your needs. You're satisfying your want. And the number three, which is the something that a lot of patients bring up to me. I don't know if one of you or anyone, have you ever felt like you're very tired, you have that brain fog, you can't remember anything, you have that mood swings, and sometimes you may blame it on hormones or maybe, a coworker or someone that you're saying that you probably don't like, or you might have that bloating sensation, or you may not be able to move your bowel every day. So you're not feeling yourself. But when you go to your primary care doctor, you do some blood work, these are standard labs, and the labs come back normal. So now, normal labs and your body is not is telling you, hey, I'm not feeling well. So that's something like that. It happens a lot to a lot of the patients that I take care of, because I'm also a primary care physician. So I understand that your labs may say it's normal, but your body's language is what is really key. Because If you look at the standard lab that a primary care provider do to you, then you're gonna stop at the surface level. But your body on the other end is sending you some signals saying, hey, I need this, I need that. So these are where I come in as a functional medicine provider as well. So the key takeaway is that when you go to your primary care provider, you do some blood work, those standard labs, they look for diseases, not for imbalance, versus me as a functional medicine provider, when you come to me, I look at the imbalance because I know disease doesn't just start over time. It starts with the imbalance. So your body will already giving you some signals telling you, hey, something is not right. Something is not right. You just have to speak your body's language. And that's something that I make sure that I complete as well. Whenever I work with a patient, I make sure that the patient understand to their body's language. They speak their body's language because your body will tell you what is going wrong. The body will give you that signal. It'll whisper before it starts screaming. But if you can pay attention to what your body is telling you, then you'll be able to be proactive rather than reactive. That is why functional medicine, like what we do, we order advanced labs as opposed to the standard labs because before the disease comes, we need to find the imbalance. And when we find the imbalance, we need to find the root cause or the root causes of the imbalance. And that's where we come in. We help you understand what is going on with you and also be more very proactive by when something is wrong, not just your gut, or when you're getting any signals from your body, you understand what it means and know exactly what to do before that become a disease that we don't want. So the $1 million question is the nutrient heist. That's something that frustrates a lot of our patients, and they've been asking us to create a webinar about nutrient heist because can you imagine, like, you're doing our best to eat healthy. You know, you're busy, you're working probably your 9 to 5, you have 2 jobs, or you have kids, family. You know, you really don't have time, and you still try to eat healthy food. But at the same time, there is something that is taking away or stealing the nutrient that you're putting inside your body. How frustrating that is. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next few slides. This is the medications that we take on a daily basis. I'm not only talking about the over-the-counter medication, but also the prescribed medication. There are several prescribed medication that we take on a daily basis, and this medication, unfortunately, they are sealing our nutrient inside our body. And that's something a lot of people they don't realize. They just think about side effect, but it's not just side effect. It's what it does to your body. And one thing that I know it does for sure is really taking away those nutrients that you work hard to put inside your body. So in the interest of time, we're gonna talk about three top medications that we take, very most people take, and these medications, yes, they work, but at the same time, on the other end, they are secretly taking away the good nutrient that we put in our body. So the number one, as you can guess, is Tylenol. I'm pretty sure most of you here take Tylenol. I take Tylenol sometime because Tylenol is really good. Like if you have a fever or if you're in pain, you will take some Tylenol, or your provider may order some Tylenol as needed for you. But something that I see is that a lot of patients that come to me, they are taking Tylenol every single day, whereas Tylenol is supposed to be taken as needed, which I understand because if you're in pain and your provider is not giving you any stronger medications but Tylenol, then Now you're in a position where you going to take Tylenol on a daily basis. So yes, Tylenol works for pain sometimes. I know over time your body will get used to the Tylenol and then it'll not be as effective as it was in the beginning. Where here is the catch. Every time your body you take Tylenol, your body uses something that is really important to your liver. That is called glutathione. It may sound very fancy, but just when you hear glutathione, think of master detoxer. Yes. So your liver needs glutathione, which is the master detoxer, to process Tylenol. So imagine that you're taking Tylenol very often than you're supposed to, even if you're taking it at the max that you are supposed to. But if you're taking it for a long period of time, over time, you're going to overutilize your glutathione, which is your master detoxer. So what your master detoxer does to your liver, it's your liver's best friend because that's how you're able to detox and clear any toxins from your body. And you need that in order for you to get rid of the waste. Because if not, you're going to start feeling sluggish and your body is telling you, hey, yes, we produce glutathione. However, if you keep that glutathione very busy with Tylenol, then it will not have time to take care of other things. Because remember, not just Tylenol when your liver processes alcohol as well, even NSAIDs, other medication as well. So that's why I tell people, I don't tell you not to take Tylenol at all, but I'm telling you to take it as needed and please don't take it for long term. Because if you're taking it long term, it'll affect your master detoxer. And once your liver stop working or is not working as efficient as it should be, then you will have that liver inflammation or liver damage, and you don't want that to happen to you because the Tylenol will be processed by that master detoxer, but also whenever you eat some food, whenever you drink alcohol, if you do, whenever you take other medication like statin medication for cholesterol, it'll be processed through your liver and it'll use the same master detoxer. So when you overutilize the master detoxer with the Tylenol, it'll be tired, just like us. We'll be tired and it'll not be able to multitask. So then what happens? You'll be either sluggish and the aging starts speeding up as well. And I know everybody wants to stay young. So just keep in mind, whenever you're taking Tylenol, think about the master detoxer because your doctor will tell you, hey, take 4,000 milligram a day maximum. Don't take more than that because it can affect your liver. What they also tell me is that not only it'll affect your liver, but it'll also deplete your nutrient as well. So make sure that you keep that in mind whenever you're taking Tylenol. And one advice for you. I know 4,000 milligram is the maximum dose for Tylenol daily, but my advice is don't exceed 3,000 because it's 500 a pill. So two pill is already 1,000. So I'm talking like six pill. Don't pass six pill. I know it's maybe hard because if you're in pain and the Tylenol works for you, remember not only Tylenol has Tylenol, there are other medication that has Tylenol as well. So that counts. And when you're taking all the Tylenol into your system, your body's not gonna say, okay, so these are Tylenol, that's not a medication. The body's gonna tell they are all Tylenol, so I gotta process it. Then that's how you overutilize your glutathione. So the second one is the antibiotic. We all need it. Somehow we'll have some infection. It may be mild, it may be severe, but especially for people who've had some severe infection and needed to be on several courses of antibiotics, some strong antibiotics. Yes, the antibiotic works because what it does, it kills the bad bugs, the bad bacteria. At the same time, unfortunately, it wipes out the good bacteria. That's where the catch is. So, not telling you don't take antibiotic. Yes, you need to take antibiotic, but you need to understand that when you're taking antibiotic, especially if you take it very often, your good bacteria is at risk because you need your good bacteria to help digest food. You need it to make vitamins like vitamin B12 or vitamin like potassium, and you needed to move your bowel on a daily basis because you need to move your bowel daily. If you don't move your bowel daily, there is a problem, and we need to find the root cause of that. And I know antibiotics sometimes can be guilty of that. Not just antibiotics, but it's one of the problem that can cause people not moving their bowel on a daily basis. And most importantly, too, your immune system. When you take antibiotic, it really depletes your immune system level. That's why you will find yourself being sick easily after a strong or moderate course of antibiotic, or any cold, you'll catch it because your immune system is weak. So what I want you to know is that, hey, when I'm taking the antibiotic medication, I need to make sure that my immune system, I'm taking care of that. I need to make sure that I'm taking some maybe probiotic because probiotic is good bacteria. So you need that because you know the antibiotic will take away the good and the bad guys, unfortunately. So these are things to keep in mind whenever you're taking the medication. So that way you don't let those medication deplete your nutrient, but instead making sure that you're replacing or making sure that you have your body ready for those medication whenever you take them. And the last medication, but not least, is birth control pills. Very good, ladies, for to prevent pregnancy, regular periods, or even for acne, help with acne. And it's really great. However, it's still some major vitamins and minerals. These are the B vitamins that is good for memory, to for you to focus, and some vitamin C and zinc that is also good for your immune system, for your skin not to break down easily, and magnesium, which is very important. Magnesium does so many things. Magnesium even play a role in your energy level because whenever you eat food, and in order for that food to turn into energy, which called ATP, it needs to bond with magnesium. So if you lack of magnesium, then you're going to miss that boost, that energy. So please, ladies, if you're taking birth control, just keep in mind that, hey, I need to make sure that I'm good on on B vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium, because this will be depleted by the birth control pills as you're taking them, because usually people don't take birth control for 6 months, a year, but sometimes people take them for longer than that. And yes, you'll probably see that you're gaining some weight with the birth control because it plays with your hormonal imbalance as well. So whenever your hormone is imbalanced, then of course your weight will be increased. Why? Because your body, whenever your body does not feel safe, it does something that is unfortunate. It stores fat in your body. So now I know a lot of people, they're asking, so what do I do, or how do I know what my body needs? Like I said earlier, if you don't know what you need, you'll not be able to satisfy or answer to that problem. So now I'm going to pass it back to Shirley, and she will explain to you and show you how exactly you can tell what is going on, not with regular primary care physician visit. Because if you go to your primary care, they will say, hey, your vitamin D, that's something I see low very often. Your vitamin D is low. I'm going to give you some vitamin D medication, maybe like a pill every week for 5 weeks or 6 weeks. Then we can repeat your labs. And then when you repeat your labs will be normal. But again, on your following annual visits, your vitamin D will be low again. Why? Because you didn't address the root cause of the vitamin D deficiency. You only use the supplements or any medication just to patch it up a little bit. But knowing the root cause is the key way to go. So I'm going to pass it to Shirley, and she's going to explain to you and share with you the number one way to understand and find out how and what is going on in your body and what is missing in your body.
Okay. Thank you. That was all really good. And I know tons of people have Tylenol in their home. It's kind of just like one of those medications you just keep on standby. But definitely super important to understand like how everything we're putting into our body is impacting our body. So I wanted to, before we get into that number one way that you can reclaim your energy, I kind of wanted to level set with us again and show us, right, this three different levels to your nutrients, right? So we have that you can be nutrient deficient, and that basically means that you're lacking something, right, in your body. You're probably below the required amount or that your cells are undernourished. We also have that you can be nutrient sufficient, meaning you just have just enough of what you need, but it's not optimal. And I think this is not a safe place to be because you can slip right over back to the left and become deficient very easily. But I also think it's a good place. So maybe like the silver lining, right, is that you can do minor changes and push you more towards the right where you can be nutrient efficient. And when we're talking about nutrient efficient, that basically means that your body is functioning in the best possible manner. So this might mean that your nutritional health is great, and not only is it great, like meaning that you're getting the right nutrients into your body, but your body is also absorbing the nutrients on a cellular level. So meaning that your cells are getting the nutrients it requires and your body is able to function optimally. So I just wanted to show this here because we can be on this scale, we can be deficient in some nutrients, efficient in others, and just sort of be able to see like, okay, maybe I'm feeling tired, so I might have a nutrient deficiency. Maybe I'm feeling like full of energy and I'm vibrant. Maybe I'm nutrient efficient, right? So just understanding like there's this scale and that we can make changes in our bodies by what we eat to move further to the right. The goal is always to move further to the right. Okay, so now we have the big question. How do I know where I'm deficient, where I'm sufficient, where I'm efficient? Like, what do I do? So let's head over to the next slide. So this is how you're going to know whether you're nutrient deficient, sufficient, or efficient. One of the things that we've been talking about is really listening to your body. So picking up on some of those signs and symptoms that you have, whether you're feeling fatigue or if you're overstressed, or maybe you're moody or you're bloated. So these are some telltale signs that you might have a nutrient deficiency. But then there's also advanced lab testing. So here at SNS Health, we're not going to just guess, oh, maybe you might have a nutrient deficiency. We're going to test for it. So one of my favorite tests that we have in our backlog, or like a group of tests that we offer to our clients, is this micronutrient test. It's called the NutraEval FMV. So this test is pretty cool. I've taken this test and I'm super excited. I'm going to get my results pretty soon. And I'm super excited to see what my biomarkers and nutrient levels come back as. But this test analyzes over 125 biomarkers. So I'm going to get a real in-depth understanding of what's in my cells. And then also it analyzes over 30 vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and amino acids. So I'm going to get a real in-depth understanding of the cells in my body and to understand like whether my cells are truly absorbing the nutrients I'm giving it or not. So this is super important, right? Because nutrients are what fuel the cells in your body. So, like I mentioned, from your mood to your sleep to your digestion. The first step for me was actually listening to my body. So, there are certain things that I have been experiencing, like thinning hair, maybe like my nails are brittle. Sugar cravings. I'm a sucker for a Snickers bar. The Charlie horse that I was mentioning to you all earlier, these were symptoms that I was starting to notice. They've been here for a while, but I finally started listening to my body and now I'm doing something about it. So now I'm getting I got my labs tested. And this test is pretty easy to do. It's a blood and urine test, and you submit your sample in, and you'll get the results back. And to the left of this slide, you're seeing a sample of the test results and what it will look like. It's probably small here, maybe like not easy to see, but what this test does, like I mentioned, it has all of the biomarkers, all of your vitamins, all of your minerals, it's listing it out, and then it's telling you where your results fall in. So you could either be borderline, and borderline is what I would associate with being nutrient deficient. You also have, I'm trying to read this more. Okay, so no, sorry. The red is deficient. So it will actually tell you like where you're deficient. Borderline is where you're nutrient sufficient, right? So you're just at that mark. If you lack in nutrients, you can become deficient. And if you take the right steps, minor changes, you can become efficient. And then everywhere that it's not showing some writing in the right column, that's where your numbers are fine. So we want to be able to do this test, right? So that we can start understanding like what are we putting in our bodies. So as part of this, we'll do an in-depth client intake, right? Go over what symptoms you might be feeling, right? So that we can then, once we do the test, we can associate it, right? Like, oh, you're feeling tired, for example, or like you're having acne, like it's related to this vitamin deficiency. And you're going to start to be able to put that story together around what's happening in your body. The other beautiful thing about this, and if we can go to the next slide, right, is that when we have your lab breakdown, we can then provide you a meal plan. So this is important, right? Like food is our first like resource, right? So when we find out where you have nutrient deficiencies, where we find out where you have a nutrient sufficient, right? Where you're nutrient sufficient, but you're borderline, we can then recommend to you, like, here are some things that you can eat. We could give you like a list of food items, but again, this one is a sample one. We go also more in depth where we can say like day by day what you should be eating, or even give you, because a lot of people do appreciate variety in their meals, right? And give you like things, different things that you can eat from week to week, as well as thinking about different times of the day. So on this example here, we are giving a week worth of meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. We can't leave out the snacks. I know people love their snacks. So just really making sure, right? It's not about like you can't eat the things that you typically like. Maybe we have to scale things down a little bit to make room for the actual foods that are going to improve your nutrition absorption. But what we really want to get to is to make people feel empowered to make the right decisions around what they're putting in their bodies, and to really be able to slow down and listen to your body. Hey, my body is experiencing like moodiness, or my body is feeling weak. What do I need to put into my body? Foods that I need to eat. That's our first go-to, right? To be able to fulfill this nutrition gap that my body is experiencing. Secondly, might be a supplement. That won't be our first recommendation from SNS Health and Wellness Center. It will definitely be your food and your diet and exercise. Then we'll move into like any supplements that you can take to really, give you a well-rounded meal plan for you. So just wanted to put this here and show you, like, from beginning of this webinar to now, the most important things are: one, listening to your body; two, noticing where you have nutritional deficiencies or nutritional gaps, right? And like really understand what the difference is. Well, I'm eating well. You might be eating well, but is it what your body needs, right? So that difference between intake and nutrition and absorption. Those things are really important. It seems like it's small, right? I'm eating well, which is great. We want people to eat well, but we also want you to eat well for your body. So, with that said, we do have free consultations within our team so that people can go ahead and get with a member of our team to talk through any nutritional deficiencies you might have, and so that we can get you with a advanced lab test ordered so you can start to really be empowered to say, I know my body is missing this, and I'm going to do what it takes to give my body what it needs so that I feel well, healthy, and happy. All right. Any questions?